In 2020, I brought on 3 new team members to the Fitness Business Podcast. And I learned from that experience of bringing on Dory, Jason, and Sarah. So in 2021, when I brought on 2 new team members, Lisa and Mel, how could I say it? I upped the fuel that I needed to power up these new team members. And this week in JTInTheRaw, you're going to learn what that fuel is in order to get your new team members on the rocket of success. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to JTInTheRaw show 226. And I hope everybody is having a fine week. Morning, Alyssa. Good morning, Pete. Dave. Good morning. Who else is there? That looks like looking at the emojis of people. Looks like there's Frosty there. How is everybody? Hope you're doing great. And welcome to yet another show of JTInTheRaw, coming to you live every single day, every single week on a Friday, same time, same place, where I chew the thin on business. And after 31 years in business, I have just a few thins to chew. And I want you to learn from the mistakes that I have made so that you will be more successful in your business. Now, I remember when I had my own business. Well, no, I actually had my own business. But when I had a gym and we had, I don't know, somewhere between 30 and 60 employees at different stages of running that gym. The first thing I remember is that I never really ever evaluated the onboarding process of new team members. What we did do, and we did on a regular basis, is we audited or evaluated the training of new team members. Now, I think there's a really important differentiation. For me, onboarding is understanding who that person is, them understanding the business, the vision, the direction of the business, the product knowledge, if you will. But then also over here is the training. Now, the training is operationally. How do you do the job? How do you do the job? And I remember when we had our business, we were diving deep in the how to do the job. But we weren't diving deep into the onboarding process. So what I like to think is my mistake that I made was we actually focused on the tasks, not the person. We focused on the tasks. We focused on ensuring that the tasks could happen rather than necessarily that the person understood why we were doing those tasks. And I like to think these days I've matured in my thinking. I like to think these days I've got better at what we do. But every time we put on a new team member into our organisation, I learn. And I think what we did last year with the Fitness Business Podcast, putting on 3 new hosts in one go, one of the things that I learned very clearly, and I want to thank Chantel for this, is because of the ownership that Chantel had, she wanted to make sure that Dory really could go straight into being a host without any hiccups. So we spent somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks working with Dory behind the scenes to ensure that she absolutely nailed that role. And thanks to Chantel spending time every week with her, I'm pretty sure for the average person, the average listener of the Fitness Business Podcast, it was a seamless transition. I can assure you behind the scenes it may not have been, but it was pretty seamless from their perspective, the listeners. Morning, John. Good morning, Kirst Robbie. How are you? I hope you're great down there in Melbourne. And so what tends to happen these days when we're looking at putting new people on is this. Perhaps at the lowest common denominator. Do you have a heartbeat? Great. Here are the keys. You open the gym, you open the physio practice, you open the real estate agency on Monday. So do you have a heartbeat? Great, you've got the job, you start. Maybe the way that you onboard a new team member is that they shadow a team member and they watch what somebody else does in the role, and then that teaches them how to do it. Monkey see, monkey do. Now, the advantage to that is it can be quite time efficient, and provided you've got a good team member showing them what to do, then the new team member learns exactly all the good skills required. If, however, the team member that they're shadowing is not your A+ player, you may not get a new A+ player. Perhaps, as we had, you have a structured program, a program where people go through milestones that they have to learn each week in order to accomplish certain qualifications within the role that you're looking at employing. Now that is a great idea. However, here, Mike, good morning, sir. Here is the number one fuel, the number one rocket fuel required to put your new team members on the rocket to success. And that is this: you. You are the secret. You are the secret to making any new team member being successful in their role. What I have learned this year, putting Lisa on board to run our Mystery Shopper program, is I thought initially we'd be just able to replace Stacey, put someone in, on board, here's all the information, away you go and run. It's far more complicated than that. I simplified it as a business owner because I've been living and doing it for a decade. It was almost second nature. In this case, I delegated it so well that I almost didn't know, no, not almost, I didn't know exactly how that part of the business worked. And I guess I was kind of scared that if I was doing training with someone on how this might operate, that person would realize how much I didn't know. And how good would that be if the boss didn't know how something worked? So together, over the last 3 or 4 weeks, Lisa and I have been exploring how mystery shopping has worked and can work in the future. You see, when you spend time with new team members, it strengthens the relationship between you and that team member. It builds a bond. It builds a bond. You get to know each other as people. People can work out when you're happy, when you're sad, when your mind is somewhere else, or when you are focused. It helps the relationship between you and that new team member. It builds trust. And anybody that's read The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team will remember just exactly how important trust is in the relationship between you and your team members and between team members. It really helps that new team member to see and hear your vision for the business. When they're working with you and spending time with you, it helps them see and hear what you want from that business. That gives them clearer direction in their role. It also helps you see their vision and their ideas to take this part of the business forward when you spend time with them. Remember, a new team member has fresh eyes. They look at the way we do things with a whole new way. Mel, who's joined our team, has looked at some of the things we do, and I'm sure she scratches her head and goes, what the hell are you doing it that way for? Her fresh eyes enable us to refine the efficiencies of the business or improve the effectiveness of the business. The fresh eyes do that. Now, when I spend time with her, she enlightens me on those efficiencies and effectiveness that we can improve. Ladies and gentlemen, Many leaders in business consider new employees an inconvenience because they slow the growth of the business down. New employees are much needed, but we've got to train them. We've got to get them on board. We've got to get them ready to roll. I need you to change your thinking. You need to think that every new team member that comes onto your team, every second you spend with them is an investment in them and your business. It is an investment. I am confident that the time that Chantel spent with Dory on the Fitness Business Podcast has meant that our Fitness Business Podcast 6 months later is in a much stronger position than it was 6 months ago. I am convinced that the time that I'm spending with Lisa every day on the phone, answering texts, replying to emails, I'm convinced that that investment is neither an inconvenience nor a pain in the butt. It is an investment in making that component of the business better. And to be frank, the time that I get to spend with my new team members, I find inspiring. I find it absolutely inspiring. It makes my heart beat faster as I see these team members wanting to invest their time, their ideas, their energy into my business to make it better. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think as leaders we can underestimate the importance of onboarding new team members into our culture and our business. Many of us spend time, energy, and effort training people in how to do the tasks. Onboarding them, spending time as a leader with our team members will catapult your business forward. You spending time with new team members is an investment. It is the rocket fuel to get that team member onto the rocket of success. I have loved the last 6 weeks of onboarding Lisa, onboarding Mel into our business. It has been truly inspiring to me. And that's why I wanted to share today this message for you. Because I know many of you are putting on new team members, whether they're full-time or part-time. And I'm imploring you to onboard them appropriately. Invest your personal time with them. They will love the time with the leader of the business. But I'm asking you to spend time with them, onboard them appropriately, and the end result will be your business will benefit. The functioning of your team will be far more superior. And the workplace will be a far more pleasant place to be. You've been tuned in to JTInTheRaw. I come to you same time every single week where I chew the thin on things that I think might just help your business get a little bit better. If you got any value out of today's show, any value out of understanding the importance of onboarding new team members as opposed to just training new team members, I would be really grateful if you would hit the share button. Wherever it may be on whatever device you are on, hit the share button. Tag anybody in the comments if you think they would get value out of today's show. Fiona, thanks. I'm glad you got some value out of today's show. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So if you got value out of the show, really share it. Tell me in the comments below. Love to know if it hits the mark. Kirsty says it's good timing. Kirst, of all people, new team members will love spending time with you. They will be inspired by you. And you, I know the type of person you are. Their learning and their desire to get better will in fact inspire you to do your job even better. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been tuned to JTInTheRaw Show 226. I hope you have an awesome weekend and I'll catch you on the flip side.